We are delighted to be joined by Matthias and Ralf from the animated film Fritzi, screening at Cinemagic. Would you be able just to introduce yourselves to our audiences, each of you, and tell us a little bit about your role on the film?
Okay, I start. I'm Matthias Bruhn. I'm an animation filmmaker since more than 30 years now, and I'm a co-owner of Trick Studio Lutherbeck in Cologne in Germany, in the former west part of Germany, and we do animation films, series and TV spots, and Fritzi, the Revolutionary Tale, is our second feature film after Molly Monster, the movie, in 2016. And so I'm very happy to be part of this very big project, Fritzi. And we started almost 10 years ago, or 10 years ago from now, I have to say. And I was so happy to be part of a great team and to direct this movie together with Ralf. It was difficult. It was a long journey, but I think in the end we're very happy with our movie, and I really enjoyed the work on this movie.
Thank you. Well, we are so excited about the movie, and there's just something so educational and inspiring and uplifting and entertaining about it, all rolled into one. And Ralf, then, as the director, can you just introduce yourself and tell us a little bit how you became attached to the project?
Yes, my name is Ralf Kukula. I'm the other co-director of Fritzi, Revolutionary Tale, and yes, next year, I'm involved in making animated films for 40 years. I started in the former DEFA studio. That was a kind of a national animated film studios in the GDR. And I have an own studio. The name is Balance Film, based in Dresden. And we are producing a mix of animated films, documentaries, and real fiction films. And I think that the look of Fritzi is that Fritzi is so different to other animated projects. It depends on my own project in the past, the mix of documentaries and animated projects. Yes, how we started, it was around about 10 years ago. And I was involved in the making of a short film, a short animated film with a publisher in Leipzig, and I saw during a meeting with the chief of this publishing studio or publishing agency, a proof of this children book. Fritzi was there, and I thought it's a great idea to make a children's book about the topic, about the time when the wall came down in Germany, especially in Leipzig. And I thought, I want to have this idea as my own. And I think there is now a film about this topic in Germany and in Europe. And that's why I had the idea we want to start to find a team, to find money, and to make at first, of course, a screenplay based on this children's book.
And it is excellent to have a film about this topic as well, because children can be educated so much through film, and sometimes a lot more than through textbooks or what is being taught in the classroom, and film can enhance that learning so much, and it is told in such a fun and educational way. And it must then for both of you be a very proud moment now, after 10 years nearly in development, I suppose, from when the idea first came about. And Matthias, is that sort of true to animation filmmaking, that it is a very long time that passes in terms of getting the idea planted in somebody's head and then for it to come to fruition? just the nature of animation filmmaking?
Well, I think it's a bit unusual that we took 10 years to finish that film. I think the periods are almost quite long. I agree. I totally agree. And 6-7 years or 5-6 years is more the that's the normal thing for an animated feature, I guess. But I think what took us so long here is that first we started with when we started after Ralf discovered the book and we worked on the script. We thought that was the 20-year anniversary of the wall coming down, and we thought, well, we'll finish the film until the 25th anniversary. That was our goal, our plan. And well, after 5 years, we were in the middle of the financing process, and that was a very difficult thing because when we decided to make a feature film, not a short film or TV special, then we knew we had to find international co-producers, partners. And that was quite difficult because in the first moment, it looks like a film about the revolution in East Germany, in Leipzig in 1989. Sounds like a historical movie, just interesting for German audiences. And it took us quite a time to make clear that this is not only a historical movie, that's the background, but the story is very up to date, and it's very interesting for children and families all over the world. And especially when you look at what's happening in the world right now, in Belarus or in Hong Kong, it's more up to date than we thought when we started the production. And so that took a long time. And actually, the production of this movie took more or less, when we started, the real production with the big team, it took 2 years, which is more or less common for a feature film like this.
Thank you. And then Ralf, then how many people, just so audiences can get a sense of the production, how many animators were involved in the production from start to finish?
It's based on the financing of this movie that we had a lot of partners around the world, I can say. We are 5 co-producers, and we are located in Europe. Matthias and me, we are the both main producers of this project here in Germany. Then we have a co-producer in Prague, Mauerfilm, Doghouse in Luxembourg, and Artemis in Belgium. And in all these countries, you can find our animators. At the end, we had round about, Matthias, you can correct me, I think 40 animators for the key animation. And the key animation was only in Europe, and we have round about 100 animators only for in-betweens and flat coloring in China and Taiwan, and some guys in Poland as well.
Yeah, and we also had the basic team of 40 animators. I counted just because I forgot. I wanted to check myself. And we also had a team of more or less 10 animators for the 3D elements in the movie. So it's more or less 50 animators, key animators working on the team, and then the service studios, of course.
That is incredible, and it's great actually to know that, and for young people watching the film as well, just to know the amount of people involved and all of the international collaboration as well. And filmmaking is such a beautiful craft that actually unites people from all over the world and to work on a common goal. And you can work in film and animation making and be located in lots of different places around the world. I think that's a really lovely sentiment to get across as well to young people and to audiences, that they can understand how the collaborative nature of the projects come about. And we're very excited as well to know about the Irish voice cast in the film. How did it come about casting some of the brilliant Irish voice actors?
was Matthias, yes.
Yeah. I think I don't know. There was a moment when we decided that we of course will do the production in English because of the different studios involved, and we I think it was your production assistant Ralf who came up with the studio in Dublin, and with the voice director from Dublin. Do you remember her name? I win. Oh, I have to check. Well, a very nice lady, and she did a very good casting for. I have to check because this is very important. um, Sorry, I win that I don't remember your last name, um, and uh, and she came up with a beautiful cast, and she sent us some excerpts from all the voices, and then I went to Dublin for 1 week and we did all the recordings, and was really nice to meet these voice actors over there, and they immediately understood what this movie is about, and they found the right tone. That was really a pleasure. And you have to imagine at that time we didn't have the final movie. We just had some images and many of the voice recordings we just did from the script. So it was quite difficult for the actors to do the right acting. But it all ran very smoothly, and I really love the original, the Irish voices.
That's super.
For us, it was a little bit strange that we developed more than 8 years the project, the screenplay, the storyboard, the animatic in German language, and then we switched to the for the animators, especially to another language, to English, and then we came back to with the synchronization to German again. That was a little bit strange because we were used to make it in German because it's a German topic, but the production language was English.
That's super. One of the voice cast is Hugh O'Connor, and Hugh has been involved with Cinemagic as well. We've shown other films that Hugh has been involved with, and he actually gave a workshop in the summer for Cinemagic to do with writing and directing, and he's a multi-talented artist, so we're delighted to see Hugh as one of the voice casts in the movie. And can you tell us then overall, what is the message that you would like young audiences to take away from the film? You know, aside from the historical nature of the film, is there a message that you feel is important to get across to young people, and especially in today's society?
On the one hand, we want to show in our movie how the people in the GDR were able to bring down a political system that oppressed them and robbed them their freedom. And on the other hand, we want to teach universal values, and we want to show how important it is to stand by yourself, even if it is hard, and to stand up for your own ambitions. And that especially, of course, for the younger audience, but also for families. I think it works very well.
Yep. First, I just checked, in the same time because I didn't remember. It's Karen Walloch, the voice director in Ireland, and she was really beautiful. So sorry, Karen, not remembering your name, but that's already almost 4 years ago when we made the voice recording. So quite a long time.
Well, that is brilliant, and she did a fantastic job, because I think all of the voices and the characters that they play just work and knit so well together as part of the fabric of the story.
One thing in addition to that, what I said to the political agenda. Some weeks ago, we got a prize in South Korea in Busan, the so-called Finding Myself Movie Award. And we are very happy and proud, especially that we got this prize in South Korea, because there is a war between South and North Korea, and I think that's very important to see for the people, and especially in South Korea, of course. This film about this process of the wall came down in Germany, and another thing is, the political situation in the United States, and the war between United States and Mexico. That's, for me, it's important to make a film not only about the situation was in the past in Germany more than 30 years ago. It's it's a film. It's a modern film, I think, about our time now.
And also, it's not just about the political situations. It's also a very, very specific film about our main character Fritzi, and she makes go through a development of herself, an emotional development, and she in the beginning she's like kind of naive, and she's not interested in politics at all, and then during the movie she goes through a lot of changes, and then in the end she stands up because she builds up a political ideas and the feelings, what's right and what's wrong, and I think in a way we want to support that, and because it's so easy. I think it's easy to identify with Fritzi, because she's such a strong character, and children watching the movie in her age, from let's say 8 to 12, they are during the movie they are all on one eye level with Fritzi, and so what happens to her, they can feel and they can follow easily, and I think that this is a nice, and this is a good message for the audiences of today, and if I look, last year when the film opened in Germany in the cinemas, and before Corona, before Belarus, etc., that we had that very strong Fridays for Future movement, and which was came from the young generation, and I was, I was kind of happy about that, and I saw some parallels, of course, and I think this is one of the ideas we want to carry out with our movie.
Thank you, and that is so true. How important it is to give young people a platform, to give young people a voice, and for stories to be told through the eyes of young people as well, and for that then to sort of inspire or to help shape young people's outlooks, and as you mentioned, giving them the self-belief and sort of just giving them that freedom to speak their mind and to sort of follow what they want to do.
It all started in the summer of 1989. My best friend Sophie went on holiday to Hungary.
Be a good boy, Sputnik, and do what Fritzi says.
I stayed behind in Leipzig and took care of her little dog Sputnik. The summer was endlessly boring without Sophie, but Sputnik and I made the best of it.
Sophie will be back tomorrow.
Then school started again, but Sophie didn't come back.
Report. All students are present except for Sophie Vollmer.
Does anyone know where she is?
What had happened?
What do you think? The hippies fled the country to the west.
Sophie was just delayed.
Did you know that Carty wanted to go to the west?
No.
And what about Sputnik, Dad?
In a few years, Sophie will probably be allowed to come to the GDR again.
In a few years? I had to get Sputnik back to Sophie.
More than 3,000 GDR citizens who had sought refuge in the embassy of the Federal Republic of Germany in Prague are now allowed to depart.
Suddenly, everyone was on the street.
Sputnik, stay here!
The people were demonstrating for freedom and open borders.
We've been coming together every Monday here in the Nikolai Church for many years.
And I was right in the middle of it.
Do you have have any idea how dangerous this is. Not just for you, but for all of us.
What exactly are we talking about here, Fritzi?
I want to bring Sputnik to Sophie.
Across the border?
That's where Sophie's grandma lives. This was the beginning of my big adventure. Fritzi, a revolutionary tale.
Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe.